Afternoon, everybody. Baby. Always good to have a baby. Well, good afternoon, everyone. As we all know, this coming Monday at 12 noon, Ohio's own J.D. Vance will be sworn in as Vice President of the United States. We are very proud of him. We are very proud of the fact that an Ohioan will be Vice President of the United States. We wish him all the best, and we certainly wish President Trump all the best as well. When there is a vacancy in the United States Senate, that is a different thing. It does not occur very often. Since 1913, Ohioans and people across this country, citizens across this country, have had the ability to select the U.S. Senator. Ohio law provides that when there is a vacancy in the United States Senate, it is the governor who makes that interim appointment. And so I have the obligation to make an appointment, which I'm told will basically last until after the 2026 election. I think December 15th is the normal time when the new person who is elected, or that person continues to be in office. So this is an unusual situation. And it's, frankly, a very heavy responsibility, and it's a responsibility that I take very seriously. It was my honor and privilege to serve in the United States Senate, to represent the people of Ohio for 2 terms, 12 years. I think I have a pretty good idea of what it takes to succeed in the United States Senate, what it takes to represent your state. As I was looking for the right person, I wanted someone who knew Ohio. Ohio is a complex state. You drive across it, you think it's all farmland, and yet we have 6 or 7 major metropolitan areas, more than virtually any state in the Union. It is diverse in so many different ways, and it takes a while, candidly, to get to know this state. So I wanted someone who had a firm grasp and understanding of the complexity of Ohio, the diversity, and frankly, the greatness of Ohio. I also wanted someone who understands the interaction between the federal government and the state government. There is so much interaction, and so much of what we do, what I do as governor, what any governor can do, is impacted not just by the laws passed by Congress, but also, frankly, by the different rules and regulations put forward by the president and by the executive branch. But it's an intricate relationship. I wanted someone who understood that. Third, I wanted someone who, frankly, would go to the United States Senate and work. I wanted a workhorse. I wanted someone who I knew would get up in the morning every single day, focus on Ohio, focus on the people here, but also focus on the obligation that senator had for the whole country. To state the obvious, there are only 100 of them. There's only 100 United States senators, and each one can play a major role. One of the things I found different between the House and the Senate, and I served in both, is that when you walk into the United States Senate, whether you're the most junior member or the most senior, you can make a difference. And you can make a difference whether you're in the minority party or whether you're in the majority party. We need, this is a serious time in our history. I won't go into all the reasons why, but I think if you look at foreign affairs, if you look at national defense, if you look at the international situation today, if you look at where our defense is, the United States Senator plays a major role and can play and does play a major role in regard to our national security. And so, again, serious times demand serious people. Finally, the next person who goes to the U.S. Senate, I knew would have to run and run and run We're used to 6-year terms, but this person I knew would, after I appointed them, could only serve for 2 years. They would have to run for re-election or run for election, and then if they won, they would have to turn around and run again in 2 years. So it had to be someone who I knew, frankly, who had the skill sets, but also the determination, had it, frankly, in their gut, that they could get up in the morning and do this day after day after day, and at the same time carry on their great duties as a United States Senator. The process we went through took a while, and it took a while because of the gravity of this decision. I interviewed a large number of people. We heard from a large number of people. There were many people who I considered very qualified to serve in the United States Senate to represent the state of Ohio. But I came to the conclusion, as you see, that the person who is best suited to be the United States Senator is a person who has been close to me for the last 6 years, a person who almost daily I work with, and that is Lieutenant Governor Jon Husted. I have worked with him. I have seen him. I know his knowledge of Ohio. I know his heart. I know what he cares about. I know his skills. And all of that tells me that he is the right person for this job. In every major decision that I have made in the last 6 years as governor of the state of Ohio, Jon Husted has played a part in that decision. And those times, we all don't agree on everything. Fran points out that she and I don't agree on everything. So it should not be a shock that Jon and I might disagree on some things. But even in the cases where he saw things differently, my decision was informed and was helped by his input. If you look at the specific areas where he has been involved, I started to write them out and stopped after a while. He's been involved in so many things. But economic development is something, as you know, that Jon has in his DNA. He started right out of school at the University of Dayton, started working economic development for the Chamber in Dayton. So he certainly has that great experience. Grew up in Northwest Ohio, went to the University of Dayton, ran for the legislature from the Miami Valley, a district in the Miami Valley, ultimately became Speaker of the House, then went to the Senate, as you know, from there, served as Secretary of State, and then, of course, as Lieutenant Governor. He has the background, he has the experience to get the job done. If you look at, I want to go back for a moment and talk briefly about some of the specific things that he has done. One is economic, as I said, economic development. Whether it was Intel or the announcement that we made yesterday, Jon has been a major player in getting these companies to come to the state of Ohio. He's focused also on energy, broadband, making government more efficient, and I could go on and on. I believe and know that Jon is prepared to be the United States Senator from the state of Ohio. The U.S. Senate rewards hard workers. It rewards those who master the facts. It rewards those who focus on getting things done. Those who succeed in passing legislation do so because of their determination. They also do so because of their hard work and their willingness and ability to put coalitions together. This former Speaker of the Ohio House will be right at home in the United States Senate. Jon Husted will be right at home in the United States Senate, and he'll be at home on day one. Finally, let me just say that I will miss this very good man. The state of Ohio will miss this excellent Lieutenant Governor. But we are gaining a strong advocate for us in Washington, D.C. We are gaining someone who I have every confidence will serve the people of the state of Ohio very well. Jon?
Thank you, Governor. My family is gathered here, so you know who they are. My wife, Tina, son, Alex, daughter, Katie, Kylie, brother-in-law, Mick, and then Kathleen, our Alex's wife, our daughter-in-law, and our granddaughter, May, were here just a moment ago. Governor, I just want to say thank you. It is my honor to accept the appointment to serve the people of the state of Ohio in the U.S. Senate. I have just appreciate that you have placed so much trust in me, first of all, as a running mate, and then as Lieutenant Governor, and now as your appointee to the Senate. To my friends and supporters and the people across Ohio, we have worked to make Ohio great again, and I look forward to working with President Trump, J.D. Vance, to make America great again. This decision was not made lightly, and I say it was not made lightly. My family and I listened to the advice of so many people, including the governor and many, many others. And I want to take a moment to share the reasons behind this decision. I have dedicated most of my professional life to serving the state of Ohio. And in stepping away as Lieutenant Governor, it was not easy. When I arrived at the State House as a legislator, Ohio was facing tough times. We were a high-tax state with a struggling economy. We were watching factories shut down across the state, and even my own family had to leave Ohio, or had left Ohio, because they needed to find work. I was just a rookie legislator who believed I could make a difference, so I rolled up my sleeves and focused on what I thought was most important, which was economic development, jobs, and education. One of the first bills I introduced, for some of you who have been around here long enough, you might remember this, but one of the first bills I introduced was a bill focused on school choice. And I remember thinking, who could possibly be against having the opportunity to give kids in failing schools a chance for a better education? And well, I quickly learned the hard truth that there were plenty of people and special interests that would fight against it. And I remembered that great lesson. I was reminded of a great lesson I already knew, that if you want to make real change, it won't come easy, and you had to be willing to fight for it. So that's exactly what I did. When I became Speaker of the House, we advanced educational freedom, creating the Ed Choice Scholarship and giving thousands of students access to the school of their choice. We also tackled the forces of complacency head on when we reformed the tax code, eliminating 3 business taxes and cutting the income tax by 21%. That was the start of tax reform and Ohio's economic revitalization to make Ohio more competitive and prosperous. As Lieutenant Governor, by the way, he's given me so many great opportunities. Lieutenant governors just don't get the chances that I've had. And we worked on this. We built on those priorities. We expanded career technical education so that everybody could have access in their high school to a career tech opportunity, ensuring that more students would graduate career ready. And through the tech cred creation, we were allowing every Ohioan to earn the chance for an in-demand credential that would lead directly to a job, which is what you want out of an education. I've always wanted people to have access to good jobs without college debt, and that's what we've made happen in Ohio. In my mind, my mission has always been clear: to ensure that Ohioans had access to good jobs, quality job training, and the opportunity to achieve their version of the American dream. Have we said that before? A couple times.
I think so, yes.
A couple times. For decades, Ohioans endured the harsh effects of globalization, automation, and complacency, leading to high unemployment and a reputation as being one of the worst states to do business. But today, Ohio stands as one of the best states to do business, with more jobs than at any point in our history. And if yesterday's announcement, if we need any evidence of that, yesterday's announcement of a project that the whole country competed for, Anduril's manufacturing headquarters, that we won and they chose Ohio. 4,000 jobs. It's going to be amazing. Because in the last 5 years, we've had 62 companies, 62 coastal companies have moved their operations to Ohio. And I'm proud to say that I've contributed to making that possible, working to achieve real results for Ohio. I'm also proud of my time as Secretary of State. That's where we created the system that made it easy to vote and hard to cheat. I hope any of you have been covering me, you've heard that during my time as Secretary of State many times, because that was always our goal, make it easy to vote and hard to cheat. And in Husted versus the Philip A. Randolph Institute, we won a landmark Supreme Court case to set a national standard for maintaining the integrity of the voter rolls. Along the way, I take pride in the fact that we advanced the cause of freedom and free markets through cutting taxes, expanding school choice, advancing Second Amendment rights, and reforming regulations by eliminating 5 million unnecessary words from the administrative code. And by the way, I have to lobby a little bit because we still have work to do there. So we got to get a little bit more on that, worked out on that. I'm especially proud of our work on foster care, which Tina has been so instrumental in doing. Foster care and adoption, which are so special to me as an adopted kid. And protecting kids from big tech and online predators. I know we made a real difference. All right, so I have to say thanks to the Innovate Ohio team. You've made government more customer service friendly, which is one of our goals. When you take the fact that you no longer have to wait in person at a BMV, a gift that keeps on giving to people, which we hope to continue to build on over time. Digital IDs, the Ohio IP Promise, quantum computing, innovation districts and hubs. We've harnessed the technology to improve the lives and solidified Ohio as the tech hub of the Midwest, and we are. I have loved this work, and stepping away from it has not been easy. This has been great. My time here at the State House has been a true joy. But representing Ohio in the U.S. Senate is an amazing opportunity. I mean, it is amazing. And it is something that an adopted kid who grew up on County Road J in Montpelier, Ohio, could have never imagined. I know Ohio well, and I will fight for Ohio as a U.S. Senator. Governor knows that. And I really look forward to working with President Trump and Vice President Vance and the Republican majority, who have an America First agenda to fight inflation, stop illegal immigration, and advance conservative values, and that's what I'll do, because that's what the people of Ohio need, and they care about those things. It's what they want. We have an opportunity and obligation to deliver. And I will continue to be an America First conservative who wants to get things done and knows that public service is a temporary gift that you have to make the most of for the people you represent. As a senator, and Governor will like to hear this, he'll want, when I spoke to Senator McCauley earlier today, I told him I was going to do this. So I said, as a senator, I want to return power from the federal government to the states. States are closer to the problems and can innovate and better than the federal government, especially in education, workforce, and social programs, so we can help more people experience the dignity of work and strengthen the earning power of the middle class. As a U.S. Senator, I hope to have a special impact on the role technology plays in our lives. And we know that that impact can be both good and it can be bad. History teaches us that the nations that are the most technologically advanced are the nations that become the most economic and militarily superior. And it's an essential aspect of this if we want to preserve prosperity and freedom for the world and the cause of freedom around the world, that we be leaders in innovation and technology. In an era of AI, technological superiority may matter now more than ever, and I want to play a role in that so that America wins that battle. But technology can also do harm. I want to make sure we protect our kids, our culture, our jobs from the insidious impact that some technologies can have in our lives. And now I want to say a couple special things about some people. I want to say something about Governor DeWine. First and foremost, he's a good man. He and Fran have been great leaders and friends to me and Tina. And we cherish our time with them. He's done a lot of big things for Ohio. But it's little things that make him special. I want to thank President Trump and Vice President Vance and Senator Moreno for their counsel and encouragement, and I look forward to working with all of them. President Trump has won Ohio by 11 points in this past election, and I will do all I can to help him and J.D. Vance be successful. Public service is a team effort. I am grateful for the colleagues, the staff, the friends from across the state who have helped us accomplish so much during my time in state government. I thank God for blessing me with a wonderful wife and family, to Tina, Alex, Katie, Kylie, Kathleen, and May, and especially my mom and dad, who somehow they'll figure out how to watch from home somewhere. They'll catch all this. My mom and dad, Jim and Judy, I love you all. In the end, this was easy. It's a decision about service. And, maybe Kylie was the one that threw it at the end. She was lobbying for me to take this job, weren't you, Kai? It's about service for me and my family, and where we can have the most impact. And there's no doubt that the U.S. Senate is a place where you can have impact for every man, woman, and child in this country. And I will be proud to serve Ohio as a U.S. Senator. So keep me in your prayers, and may God bless Ohio and God bless America. And I'm ready to get started because I don't have an office, a desk, a chair, a pencil. I got a lot of work to do, and we're going to be leaving to go get that done real soon. So thank you.
We're happy to take questions.
Governor, what can you share about the discussions down in Mar-a-Lago, particularly with the advancement of the name of Ramaswamy by President?
Well, I've tried throughout my career to have good relationships with every president. I think I have those relationships. One of the things I've always done is not really disclose what conversations that the president and I have had, so I'm not going to do that, John. So, let me just say that I did call the president this morning. He was very, very gracious and seemed to be very happy and said some very nice things about Jon Husted. So. I called him, I think, about 10 o'clock this morning.
You said before that you wanted Lieutenant Governor Husted to succeed U.S. Governor, so what was it that made you change your mind?
Well, Jon is quite talented, but he can't do two things at once, or he can't occupy legally two positions in the state of Ohio. And so, look, there's besides being president, there's two great jobs in politics, and one's in the United States Senate and the other is governor. And for those who might think I devalue the U.S. Senate, I hope that today's pick shows that I do not. I also remind people with a smile on my face that I did not leave the United States Senate voluntarily. I had some help leaving. And so there's two great jobs, and they're jobs that I know that the right person can make a huge difference in the United States Senate. If I can just finish, sometimes it's things that you see, sometimes it's things that you don't see, but a United States Senator can have an impact every single day if they're willing to put in the work and do the job.
Senator, how soon before you announce a choice to succeed, now Senate designate Houston?
Okay, I'm sorry, I did not hear.
How soon before you announce a choice to succeed, now Senate?
I don't know. This one's been hard enough. We're going to take the weekend and go to the inaugural, and I'll think about it. So, yeah.
Senator Husted, by accepting this appointment, have you given up on your hopes someday to become?
I accepted this appointment with the full intention of running for this office. So that's the important answer to that question, and we're excited about it. I also talked to the president this morning, talked to J.D. Vance this morning, I talked to Bernie Moreno this morning, and they're all very excited, and I really look forward to working with them because there's a lot of work to do, and it's pretty cool. We have a vice president from Ohio who's like my friend. I mean, it's seriously, Innovate Ohio Board, we had Bernie Moreno, J.D. Vance, Vivek Ramaswamy, and me. We did all right. We got a good crew there, so.
Lieutenant Governor, when you were Ohio House Speaker, you were.
Okay, wait a minute. Let's go here first.
Julie, go ahead.
Julie.
When you were the Speaker of the Ohio House, you famously signed the Kumbaya budget. It was a bipartisan budget that.
A unanimous vote.
A unanimous vote, and now you're headed to Washington at a time of deep division. Can you just reflect on how you plan to approach our two-party system when you get there?
Same way I've done my job here. It's worked pretty well. And you just keep people focused on what's most important, because things can degrade so quickly on things that are not the most important issues. And look, it's hard for us all. It's hard in any political job to just focus on the things that matter. But that's why that list I went through for you, it's like you got to know what you want to accomplish. And then you just stay focused on those things. And, you have to build relationships with people so that they trust you and that they know that they can work with you. And that's worked very well. You can work with, look, I have relationships. I had Democrats from across the state, Republicans from across the state, everybody texting me all kind of stuff that I've encountered in my life saying congratulations. And they all know that I am a conservative guy. I'll vote for conservative things, but we all care about the same people, and let's figure out how to do that. And I'll do my best.
Did a possible or likely run of Vivek Ramaswamy for governor play into you making this decision to go to the Senate?
So I'll just say this. I know there's a lot of noise around this, and this is all true. You hear all of these names and all of these people that say they want to run for governor and say they want to be the senator, and I promise you this. Every single one of them would have accepted this appointment to the U.S. Senate, except governor offered it to me. And so that's why you make the decision, because this is an opportunity, if you care about the country and you care about your state, that you can't pass up.
So where do you stand on support for all of President-elect Trump's cabinet employees and also support for Ukraine?
I'm going to help President Trump be successful. I think he deserves his appointees, and I'm going to be an ally for him. And I will get to what I stand for on all of those other issues when I'm actually a U.S. Senator. I'm still Lieutenant Governor, by the way, and I will be until I take the oath of office. And we'll get those things worked through. It's a fine question. I should be answerable to all of those things. But today, we're going to just focus on the here and now, and once I'm sworn in, I'll talk about where I'll be on particular issues. That we're still working through. I'm going to try to get it as soon as possible, but there are lots of things that you have to work through in this transition, and I talked to Vice President-elect Vance about that today and how we can coordinate our work.
LG and Governor, what kind of
Well, look, I've just come off having a great lieutenant governor. So I think, John's a tough act to follow. But, the qualities that Jon has are certainly some of the qualities, that I will look for in the next lieutenant governor, so.
Has the process started? Did you interview people for that, or when are you going to be ready to announce lieutenant governor?
No, one big decision at a time, so, yeah.
Lieutenant Governor, how, do you feel like?
And this is the best lieutenant governor is whoever the governor wants.
How do you feel like you'll approach getting into the swing of a job that you've never held before, you've never been in DC before? How do you plan to kind of navigate that new territory?
Human nature is the same whether you're in the Ohio State House or you're in Washington, D.C. And it's just the issues are different. And I have developed some good policy skills and political skills over the years to work with other people and get things done. It's very translatable to what happens in Washington. I've spoken to most of the congressional delegation today, and we're gonna fight for Ohio.
Jon, how soon will you start your campaign, given the fact that in 21 months, you're going to be running for election?
I think I started it this morning, making some of the calls I made. So, yeah, we'll get to that.
How important will Donald Trump's endorsement be in that race, do you think, and do you expect that you might get it?
I'm going to always let the president speak for himself, but we had a wonderful conversation this morning.
Lieutenant Governor, can you share as to when the governor officially offered you this position?
They won't believe if I tell them. Yesterday. Yeah. So when we were with you all yesterday at Andrel, it was not, we hadn't had that conversation yet.
I heard that the discussions were going on at the governor's mansion late into last night. Is that how really late this all came together?
I wasn't there. You'll have to ask.
Late last night?
Or
What we're doing late last night? We had dinner.
Yeah.
Fran and I had dinner, so, yeah. Yeah, the only person there, we had a dog, but that was it.
We had pizza.
Lieutenant Governor, did you call all the candidates previous to this press conference?
I called some of them. My team called others. There were too many for me to call myself. So.
How many were there?
Hell of a lot. I don't know.
Everybody, all of them, right? So,
Did you call Senator Mario?
excuse me?
Did you call Senator Mario?
Marino.
Oh, yeah. I spoke with Senator Marino this morning, and we will get along just great. We've been friends for a while, and I'm excited to work with him.
Lieutenant Governor, do you plan to be seated by the time that there are confirmation votes on many of Trump's nominees, such as Pete Hegseth and Pam Bondi? And if so, how do you plan to vote on them?
I am working through those things, and I'm going to support the president's nominees.
Governor, essentially, we're going to have, for all intents and purposes, 2 freshman senators from the state of Ohio. What advice would you give them?
Well, first of all, yes, we have 2 new members of the Senate, but we also have Vice President of the United States from Ohio, too. So that's a good thing. I think I'll go back to what my life experiences have been, and that is that when you go to the United States Senate, whether you're the last person in the door or whether you've been there for 30 or 35 years, if you want to have influence and make a difference, you can make a difference. The great thing about being a United States Senator is there's only 100 of them. Each state only gets 2. There's plenty of work to do. There's plenty of things to concentrate on. As I've told Jon that, as a United States Senator, your committee assignment is important. You have great, influence in regard to that committee, even if you're the newest member. Subcommittees, you have great influence. But also, as a United States Senator, you can pick areas that you want to specialize in. And there's plenty of room and there's plenty of work to do. So you can carve out a niche here, you carve out a niche here. You can find somebody on the other side of the aisle who cares. In my case, I worked with Jay Rockefeller on highway safety. I worked with him on foster care, just as an example. You have great opportunity as a United States Senator, whether you're in the minority, the majority, whether you're the most junior or the most senior, you can make a difference as a U.S. Senator.
Governor, how much did the fact that there is a coming gubernatorial election play into your decision and your calculus on this decision?
Yeah, so look, those of us who are in politics are not mindful of the next election, not unmindful of it. We are mindful of it. We know when these elections are up, and we know who's running, and we know all those things. But candidly, in the end, I followed some good advice and from people pretty close to me who said, this is your choice. You make the decision on this. The rest of things are going to have to get worked out, and I can't control them. So let me just finish. So this decision is so very, very important that, in the end, I stripped away everything else and asked the question, who's the best person to represent the state of Ohio in the United States Senate? And it clearly came back to Jon Husted.
Does it avoid a contentious primary for governor, and does it avoid a contentious special election for the U.S.?
Well, I seriously doubt that it will avoid a contentious race for governor. Just stay tuned. You're going to see how many people, say that they are running on both parties. We already have a couple of them in, it sounds like, and no, it does not. It does not at all. Look, the good thing is when we talk about the next Senate race, when we talk about the next gubernatorial race, everybody gets to play. Everybody gets to vote. This is the way we do it in this country. What made this decision so serious for me, and one of the reasons it took this long, is I had to work through, many different things, but in the end it came down to who's the best person to represent Ohio. And for good, better or worse, Mike DeWine was the person making that decision. That's what the law says. I have to make that decision, and I made it, and I picked the best person.
Did Governor Ramaswamy talk to you at all about possibly being governor someday and what you could do?
Well, I don't go into conversations I have with other people generally. I certainly have talked with him, and I've talked with a lot of other people too. So.
Governor, can you talk about the opportunity that this provides to continue your work on social media regulation, and where do you stand on the TikTok ban?
So I'm going to hold off on talking about those particular issues, but check back with me because I have some strong opinions on those issues that we're going to work on. But today I'm just going to focus on the fact that the governor appointed me to be a U.S. Senator, and I got to get organized and we got to get ready to go to work. And once I take the oath of office, I'll talk about all the things that I want to do to help Ohioans, to help the country, and to focus on tech, the good and the bad. And I'm excited to go to work on those things because, those of you who have followed the work that I've done, I just think it's so important because the impact that technology is having in our society, on the economy, is not only incredibly impactful now, but it's going to become more so over the course of the next 10 years.
Have you submitted your resignation as lieutenant governor yet?
I have not, so I'm still lieutenant governor, so you don't have to worry about, the governor hurrying to appoint someone, and that transition occurs when I take the oath in the Senate.
Governor, looking ahead to the next Trump administration, I had a question. So Attorney General DeWine is asking the legislature to ban cities from not enforcing immigration law or being sanctuary cities. What role do you think Ohio should play in immigration enforcement in the coming years?
Look, I think everyone should follow the law. The federal government has a unique role, a pretty much exclusive role in the area of immigration and border security. So my ideas are simple. You just follow the law.
Governor, the last two U.S. senators Ohio has had came to the job with zero political experience. Was it important to you that Lieutenant Governor Husted had a deep background in government?
Yes.
Lieutenant Governor, when are you going to actually become a U.S. Senator? When will you be sworn in?
So we're working through those things. We'll try to do it as quickly as we can, but there's some logistical issues that we just have to work through to get that done. But I know that in talking with Senator Thune, that sooner is better.
John,
We have time for one more question.
one more thing from me, because I'm always curious about this kind of stuff, because I know you had your eye on running for governor.
Huh?
When did you decide, when did this open up in your mind? And walk us a little bit through your thinking as you transitioned from, I'm going to go run for governor.
Yeah.
And now you're going to consider yourself.
Well, it's the strangest thing because at the convention, I gave the nominating speech for JD. And I remember somebody asking me at that time, they said, well, if JD gets elected, would you want to be this? I'm like, wow, like that just seems so improbable to even think about. So it was not something that was on my mind initially. But I have a lot of close friends who have said to me all along, keep an open mind, keep an open mind. And as it came forward and thought about the fact that this is, because like I respect the difficult decision the governor has. It's difficult. He can pick from 11.7 million Ohioans, or at least the adults among them, and it's a tough choice. And he gets a lot of pressure to do this, that, or the other thing. And I kept an open mind about it. But, you know, the real issues were family issues. Like, because in the past, I've never been interested in going to Washington because I had young children. Now, my youngest child, Kylie, raise your hand. She's the only one, you know, because Katie, she's already off. She's like going to college. She's like ready to go. And Kylie said to me, she's got a couple years of high school left, and she said, Dad, I want you to go to the Senate. And I was like, wow, if my youngest child is good with this, then that's a big deal. And Tina and I talked about it. Honestly, I switched my mind probably 100 times because this is an incredible choice. To do either is, like, if you're involved in politics, it's like choosing from the two best things that you can do in the state of Ohio. And so we had a lot of conversations about it, prayerful consideration, talked to lots of people, just like the governor did. He had a difficult decision too. But in the end, it's the opportunity to go right now to Washington, not 2 years from now, but now, to go work with President Trump and a Republican majority to do the things that I think will make America a better country. And once you really look at it like that, it was an opportunity that I couldn't pass up.
Lieutenant Governor, I would like to ask you, your family chief of staff, Mrs. Husted, what is number one or number two on your list of moving your family and changing your whole family to Washington?
We're not moving.
We're not moving to Washington. No. John will work there, and I'll stay home with Kylie, and we'll travel there when we can, and it'll be fine.
Yeah, I'm not leaving Ohio. I mean, I'm just going to go to Washington for a couple of days a week to do Ohio's business there and represent them in the U.S. Senate and do the work that it takes to get the job done there, and then come back and spend as much time as I can doing the same things I've been doing for 25 years, meeting with people, listening to their problems, figuring that out, and going there and trying to change things. And it's interesting in this particular case because I've already made a list. I started making this list months ago with the team of all the things we want Washington to change. Now I can just take the list with me and go to work on it.
Governor, Lieutenant Governor, real quick, any reaction to the indictments unsealed today regarding the First Energy execs?
No, I have no comment.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Lieutenant Governor, are your parents still in Montgomery?
They don't. They don't live there now. No. They have. As part of the story, they had to leave. They had to leave Ohio to find jobs at 38.
Hi, guys. Okay.